I, 28, have been best friends with Emily, 28, since we were in high school. We went through almost everything together. From awkward teenage years to college tests and career choices, we were inseparable. We even ended up working at the same marketing firm, though in different departments. As adulthood took its course, Emily and I remained close, or at least that's what I believed until recently. Emily has always been a bit of a storyteller. She's the type who can spin a simple weekend trip into an epic adventure. It's a part of her charm, and people love her for it, including me. But lately, her stories have taken a darker turn. About 6 months ago, Emily started complaining about Jacob, her boyfriend of 3 years. She said he was growing distant, possibly even cheating on her. She would recount episodes that made Jacob seem like a villain, who was always sneaking around behind her back. As her best friend, I was there to support her. I would listen to her rants, comfort her when she needed it, and even suggested couples therapy. But it didn't end there. Emily began confiding in me about how she felt trapped living with Jacob, who she claimed was financially irresponsible and emotionally unavailable. Her stories were vivid and increasingly concerning. She made it clear that she was considering leaving him, and she seemed caught between fear and resentment. While part of me was worried for Emily's emotional well-being, another part of me started questioning the validity of her stories. Although Jacob didn't hang out with us regularly, the few times I did interact with him, he was always polite and attentive. He seemed like a nice enough guy. Still, I didn't want to dismiss Emily's concerns. Friendship is about trust, and I wanted to respect hers. Things took a sharp turn when Emily accused Jacob of stealing money from her. She came to my apartment in tears one evening, claiming that a significant amount had disappeared from her savings account. She didn't have any concrete proof that Jacob was behind it, but her suspicion was intense. I suggested she contact the bank to find out more about the transactions, which seemed like the logical step. But she waved me off, insisting she already knew it was Jacob. I felt uneasy and helpless. How could I support my best friend without feeling like I was supporting something false? I kept oscillating between trusting Emily's instincts and becoming more suspicious of her narrative. I decided to probe a little deeper, hoping to find some middle ground where the truth could reside. I started spending a bit more time with Emily and Jacob, under the guise of needing a break from my own relationship woes. My boyfriend and I were going through a rough patch, and this served as a plausible excuse. To my surprise, Jacob wasn't acting like a man hiding a dark secret. If anything, he seemed genuinely concerned about Emily's well-being. He often asked me if I thought she was okay or if she ever talked about her feelings with me. It was confusing. Around that time, Emily began weaving yet another tale. She said she had finally caught Jacob red-handed, texting another woman. However, when I pressed for details, her story became fuzzy. Emily couldn't provide specifics and instead grew defensive, accusing me of siding with Jacob. This confrontation left me bewildered and distressed. Could it be possible that Emily wasn't being truthful? Was she exaggerating her issues or even fabricating them? The straw that broke the camel's back came during one weekend when Emily and Jacob invited me to a small housewarming party. It was supposed to be a cozy gathering of a few close friends, but Emily and Jacob hardly exchanged 2 words throughout the evening. Emily confided in me that she was planning to leave Jacob for good, swearing me to silence. Yet, moments later, Jacob approached me searching and visibly upset. He had found out through mutual acquaintances that Emily was behind on several credit card bills, including payments she had blamed him for missing. This revelation gnawed at me. My discomfort with the situation grew to a point where I knew I had to act. I asked Emily directly about her financial situation, outside the turbulent emotions tied to her relationship. She denied everything, even though Jacob's evidence seemed solid. At that moment, my patience and trust started to unravel. Finally, in a decision that haunts me now, I confronted Emily about all the inconsistencies I had begun to notice in her stories. We met at our favorite cafe, the place where our friendship had blossomed over countless cups of coffee and confidences. I asked her pointedly about the missing savings, the supposed infidelity, and the credit card debts. I told her I cared enough to not let her self-destruct based on her invented grievances or misguided vengeances. Emily was silent for a moment before turning on me with fury. She accused me of being disloyal and unsupportive, vowing never to forgive me for believing a stranger over her. It was a dramatic and heated exchange that left both of us visibly shaken. Even though I braced for resistance, the ferocity of her anger stung more than I anticipated. I returned home that night reeling from our confrontation. Following our argument, Emily went on a rampage that could only be classified as reputation sabotage. She took her grievances to social media, without explicitly naming me, but making sure mutual friends could connect the dots. She painted herself as the victim of a malicious friend who sided with her abusive boyfriend. Her tale was woven skillfully, a heartbreaking narrative meant to win empathy and discredit any detractors. To my astonishment, her plan worked, at least initially. Colleagues and friends who had only heard one side of the story reached out to me, expressing their shock and disappointment. Some asked for my side of the story, wanting the truth amid the chaos. Others distanced themselves, not wanting to take sides in what seemed like an ugly he-said-she-said debacle. I felt cornered, my credibility attacked by the person who knew me best. Reality was far more complicated, though. Jacob, devastated by Emily's allegations, decided to break up with her. Yet he also felt vindicated enough to share his side of the story with our circle. He was calm and straightforward in his recounting, explaining how he had tried to talk things through and be supportive, but Emily's accusations were too far-fetched. In the workplace, the tension was impossible to ignore. Emily, against better judgment, escalated her claims, impinging on workplace boundaries. Our boss had to intervene, resulting in Emily being put on a temporary leave to sort out her personal issues. That decision spiraled further, costing her several months without income. My heart ached for the role I had not intended to play, but undoubtedly had in the events that unfolded. Meanwhile, I attempted to rebuild trust with mutual friends, explaining my side while vowing not to engage in the drama any further. Some friends sided with Emily, though, calling me the traitor and refusing to hear my perspective. The emotional turmoil began affecting my work performance and personal relationships. I couldn't ignore the internal battle anymore. The guilt became overwhelming. Update 1, asterisk, as the hostility simmered, Emily reached out to me via text after weeks of silence. Her message was neither an apology nor reconciliation. Rather, she asked for help, claiming she was losing control of her life and struggling with immense stress. Despite the anger and turmoil, a part of me still cared for Emily. Yet I was torn. How could I help someone who didn't appear to want the truth? How could I expose myself to further manipulations? That caring part of me sought reassurance that I had done right by addressing what seemed like falsehoods. After much deliberation, I hesitated but replied, offering to meet and talk things out. I proposed that we could try counseling since we seemed to be at an impasse in communicating effectively. I even reached out to Jacob about the idea, suggesting that perhaps their relationship could benefit from it too. But when Emily and I met, it was as if our history was permanently scarred. She seemed distraught, discussing how she felt abandoned and misunderstood. The attempt at counseling was initially promising. Our facilitator was insightful, helping us unpack the root emotions, the motivations behind our recent hostile exchanges. But ultimately, Emily's willingness to participate evaporated after she perceived it as my attempt to fix her. We left the sessions further fragmented. Update 2, asterisk, in the months following our failed attempt at reconciliation, Jacob left the city for a fresh start elsewhere. The breakup had drained him both emotionally and financially. Emily's whirlwind allegations, partially retracted at her convenience, had a lasting impact on him. He filed a claim for defamation, though I'm unsure how far it progressed legally. As for Emily and me, our professional paths diverged. Emily resigned from the firm, moving out of state for another job. Our once shared workspace felt foreign and hollow. Rumors circulated, but the storm eventually passed, leaving a residue of unresolved bitterness. I remained at the firm, too entrenched in my work to bear changing jobs amid the upheaval. Our mutual friends slowly adjusted, though scars lingered in our once tight-knit group. Some connections never healed entirely, marred by whose side their allegiance had lain during the conflict. Now, months later, here I am, haunted by my part in Emily's fall, but steadfast that truth had to surface at some point. The fallout alienated me from a friendship spanning decades. Each day poses a reminder that actions and words construct reality, sometimes unalterably. So here I am, asking for perspective beyond my own muddled thoughts. Am I the asshole for exposing my best friend's lies and inevitably playing a part in her downfall? My mind churns with rationales and regrets, but I need a glimpse of clarity.